Thank you very much, Tara. Okay, so we like to talk about how local institutions get, big recommendations and awards and things like that. So UD's turn, they were just awarded a big research grant, the first of its kind, which is big, from the National Endowment for the Arts.
That's very good news. And we were just talking about how big of an art city Dayton is. So.
Exactly. Well, here we go. We're following that trend. They got a $10,000 one-year grant that will fund research that looks into the positive effects that art can have on the quality of life, which is a very interesting way to look at art. And also the NEA gave research grants to other universities. So we're sitting in a list with Harvard University, University of Illinois, Fordham University, a few others. But UD got the first grant of this kind for this specific research that they're doing with art.
I think that's really exciting. We're always having these first, and this is just another one. So at this point, it's not even surprising. We're always
So we'll have to follow up, because I'm actually very curious to see what they come up with, how art would affect the quality of life for somebody.
And I would think it would increase that, but that's just me. I guess we'll wait for UD and their researchers to tell us, to give us that conclusion.
We'll keep up. We'll keep up.
Now, speaking of schools, the cost of college continues to grow. Wright State just approved a 3.5% tuition hike starting in 2013, and this is part of an overall new budget that is intended to help students in the long run. How this helps, I don't know. But by fueling economic development, encouraging entrepreneurism, and providing professional development opportunities for staff. Rather than just barely more than $8,000 for undergrad tuition, students will now be shelling out around $8,354 per semester.
Yeah, I mean, are we that surprised?
No. Sign of the times. I mean, everything's
everywhere.
So.
Colleges everywhere are getting those tuition hikes, and
it's no fun. 300 extra bucks a semester. That's a lot of ramen noodles. That's dinner for a year. And now they're not going to be able to.
But you shouldn't be eating ramen noodles. Remember that story that we showed that you can't digest them. So but that doesn't help.
This is a good thing, right? State had the ramen in mind when they cut that out of the students'
So
budget.
just don't eat anything.
Yeah, just don't eat ramen. Anyways, we're getting besides the point. The point is, yes, 300 extra bucks a semester, but I don't think anyone's surprised. So
no, not at all. But you know what? I do see how it can help the students in the long run. If they're infusing the economy of the school with a little bit more money in the budget.
It's very true.
But perhaps that could mean, I mean, those terms were maybe a little bit vague, but in
the long run, meaning students to come, the students there now, I'm sure those effects won't be seen before they're on their way out.
We could have a long debate about this for the whole show, so let's just move on. All right, so college students may know a thing or two about this next story. Those midnight cravings for apple pie aren't just in your head.
Really?
Actually, they are actually just in your head. Researchers at Columbia University say sleepy brains actually crave junk food.
This makes sense.
So this is the way it works. When our brains are tired, when we haven't gotten enough sleep, our brains are seeking out things that activate the pleasure centers in our minds, and that includes food, obviously, right? So researchers hypothesize that because the brain is looking for fast ways to get energy, and when you eat junk food, simple carbs, simple sugars,
that quick rush.
It's that quick rush to your brain. So MRIs that they did, they kind of gave people junk food, the option of junk food, and then also healthy food. But when they were given the junk food, they had increased blood flow to the pleasure centers, and the test subjects usually reached for things like the usual subjects: pepperoni pizza, cheeseburgers, cake. That's what I would go for.
I'm thinking that I must always be half asleep then, because there's not a time in my life when I'm not craving those things.
Are you sleepwalking right now?
I think I'm asleep right now.
That's impressive.
That must be it, because I'm craving.
You can host a one-hour show while sleeping.
Yeah, I know. I try, Now, speaking of brains and everything going on that way, our brains tend to follow trends, and now it seems that the heart does as well. Huffington Post says offbeat wedding trends are growing rapidly. Natalie, you can take note as you prepare. Some of those trends are unique wedding bands for men, eccentric save-the-date cards, followed by even more eccentric invitations. Now, usually interactive cards or centerpieces with quirky add-ons like books or statues. Statues is a little quirky to me. They also have the printed tablecloths now. Solid cloths are totally yesterday.
Yeah.
And they have the do-it-yourself desserts, like decorating your own cupcake.
I like that.
I think that's fun. That's not so crazy. It's just different.
It could be messy. We could have a problem there if you have the pastry bags full of frosting at every table. Ruin the very nice, expensive printed tablecloths you just put down.
Exactly. But I think it's fun at the very least, and it's a wedding that you'll remember.
Yes.
So you want to be remembered. I think maybe this is just a way to get more bucks.
Okay, here's a cynical way to look at it. Just ways to spend more money. You already spend so much money when you put the wedding tag on something.
Yeah.
It just increases the price so much.
So you won't be hopping on any of these trendy bandwagons.
No.
No, not even the cupcakes?
Maybe the cupcakes. Maybe the cupcakes. I like the cupcakes at the table. I don't know about the decorating them.
Really? If you
Even though
have
it's fun.
cupcakes, I'm inviting myself to your wedding. So I just want you to know if there's cupcakes, I'm crashing.
All right, I'll put an
Okay.
extra seat just for Zuri.
Just clear
With
a
the
table
cupcakes.
for me with the cupcakes. Yes, absolutely.
All right.